Welcome to another series of ethical hacking, and today we are gonna hack Windows 7 machine. We will be creating backdoor, dumping login password and take screenshot of victim's machine. Before starting the demo, let me show you my IP address. Here is the attacker and victim IP addresses. For this demo, we are going to generate meterpreter payload using Veil. Meterpreter payload is an exe file that victim can execute. After successful execution, a session to victim machine will be created. In our case, victim machine is the Windows virtual machine. To launch the Veil, execute veil.py. Either we can use evasion or ordnance to generate the payload. For this demo we will be using evasion to generate the payload. To get the list of all the available payload, execute list command. Here we will be using the reverse HTTPS payload, as firewall usually allow HTTP or HTTPS traffic, while they might block other types of traffic. To select the reverse HTTPS payload, execute use command followed by payload number. Now we are going to set the localhost IP, which will be attacker machine IP address. After that we will be setting up the localhost port as well. Now we are going to generate the payload. For that we will be executing generate command. Once the payload is generated, we can host the payload on the web server, or transfer the payload using USB stick. After that we will wait for victim to download our payload. Next we are going to use Metasploit in order to connect back to victim machine. So to start the Metasploit, execute msf console, which is CLI of Metasploit. We will be using multi-handler. This is useful when you are executing a backdoor in a victim's machine, and you need to connect back to take control. After that we are going to set the reverse HTTPS payload, followed by setting up the localhost IP and port. Now we will be executing the exploit in background. Now we have to wait for the victim to execute the payload. As soon as victim execute the payload, session or backdoor will be created to the victim's machine. Here we can see a session has been created to the victim's IP address. Now we will execute getUID, that will return the victim's machine ID. Now we got the access to the Windows machine. Now we will loading the Kiwi extension to dump the login password in plain text. We will now execute increds_alt to dump password, and TLM hash. Here is my Windows 7 username and password. Now we are load SPA extension for taking the screenshot of victim's machine.